Xiaomi is a very well-known brand in third world countries, simply because of the prices of their products and their characteristics. The Redmi 4A was unveiled in November 2016, and it drew a lot of attention since it brought many unusual characteristics such as LTE support and a 13-megapixel camera for the price, which was very low. Today we're testing the Xiaomi Redmi 5A, the successor of the 4A. The first thing you might say when you put your hands on the 5A is that these two devices are the same. Not really, they're not, but the differences are completely unnoticeable for most users. Some new things that the 5A brings are the new user interface, new Android version, a stronger 3GB RAM version, and minimal camera changes. As we've said, there are two versions of the 5A. Today we're testing the weaker version, the one with 2GB of RAM and 16GB of internal storage. Available color options are gold, rose gold, blue, and the one we have, dark gray. Inside the attention-grabbing orange factory box, next to the device itself, Xiaomi delivered a charging adapter, micro USB cable, SIM tray tool, and user manuals. Speaking of differences between displays in the 4A and the 5A, there's nothing much to say, except for one small detail. The screen-to-body ratio is 0.1% bigger. This is a 5-inch IPS LCD display with HD 720 by 1080p resolution that can show up to 16 million colors. All IPS LCD displays have a tendency to show colors a bit inaccurately. They are all represented with a bluish hue. Display settings offer 3 preset panel colors: warm, standard, and cold. Redmi 5A is equipped with an ambience light sensor, which means that you have an option to use the auto brightness mode, which will adapt the brightness of the panel to the light that falls on the device. There's also the double tap to wake up option, which does exactly what the name suggests. Options also offer the reading mode that protects your eyes by filtering out blue light. Same as with the 4A, we didn't get any sort of screen protection, so you'll need to be careful not to scratch the display. Xiaomi Redmi 5A is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 425 chipset, and as we have said, it comes paired with either 2GB or 3GB of RAM. Internal storage options are either 16 or 32GB, and there's also a microSD card slot that supports expansions up to 256GB. The CPU built into this chipset has 4 cores, all of which are ARM Cortex-A53 cores clocked at 1.4 GHz, and the GPU that will perform all graphic tasks is the Adreno 308. Snapdragon 425 is a weak chipset, but in this device it doesn't seem weak at all. Redmi 5A performs very well for its price range. Opening applications and other screen transitions are instantaneous, however we did notice some lag when opening applications stored in RAM. Gaming on this device is a pleasant experience when the games are not too demanding. Heavier 3D games put too much pressure on the chipset that cannot cope with them, so drops in the frame rate are noticeable almost immediately. Using the device for prolonged periods of time does make it heat up a little bit, but not too much. It is within normal limits. Still, these results are more than good for this class. On the Antutu benchmark, this device scored 44,081 points, while on the Geekbench it scored 674 in single-core and 1,872 in multi-core performance. The speaker of the 5A is located on the bottom part of the device, and it spans horizontally across most of the device. We cannot really say anything bad about it, however it could be a little bit louder. Due to its price, this device does not have a fingerprint scanner, which would be a perfect addition, but the price dictates. Redmi 5A has 3 capacitive buttons located below the display. On the left there is the multitasking button, in the center the home button, and to the right is the back button. Android version pre-installed on this device is Nougat 7.1.2 with MIUI 9.2 user interface. System itself looks great, the environment is very clean, although there are some pre-installed applications such as MIUI Forum, MI Drop, MI Remote, MI Video, etc. Xiaomi Redmi 5A comes with 2 cameras, that is one on the back and one on the front of the device for all your selfies. On the back there is a 13 megapixel sensor with the aperture of f2.2, while on the front side we have a 5 megapixel sensor with the aperture of f2.0. The rear-facing camera got some improvements, and now it is equipped with face detection autofocus system, while the LED flash is still here. Photos made by the main camera aren't anything special, which was completely expected. Daylight photos are pretty nice, they don't have that many details, but the colors are still sharp and vivid. Things go south in low light conditions when you have to have a very steady hand in order to make good photos. Nighttime photos are pretty bad with huge levels of noise. In the camera interface there's a manual mode, but it only offers you options to adjust white balance and ISO values. Speaking of the camera interface itself, on the top side in portrait mode you can find two options, flash settings on the left and HDR settings on the right side. On bottom side to the left there's a shortcut to the gallery, in the center is the shutter button, and finally to the right is the button that lets you switch between photo and video taking modes. Just above the bottom menu we can see another small menu where some other options are placed, from left to right effect, camera options and rear front camera switch. Shooting mode menu offers these options: panorama, timer, audio, manual, straighten, beautify, HHD, scene, and tilt shift. When we enter camera options, we can see all camera settings this device has to offer, some of which are camera frame, age and gender, contrast, saturation, picture quality, etc. Speaking of the quality of photos, the Redmi 5A offers three options: high, standard, and low quality, and also adjustable is the camera frame, either 16:9 or 4:3. When it comes to video mode, it didn't leave us astonished either. Redmi 5A captures videos in maximum Full HD 1080p resolution, but the frame rate is not stable. It drops down quite a lot during quick hand movements or when the light conditions change. The front-facing camera doesn't capture details very well, especially in low light conditions when we come across huge levels of noise. Beauty effect is best turned off completely since it makes the whole picture very blurry. Photos are somewhat okay only for social media needs. The selfie camera also records videos in 1080p resolution. This device's battery is probably the only thing that surprised us. Compared to the battery in the 4A, this battery has the capacity of 120 mAh less. 3000 mAh battery paired with a power-saving CPU brings excellent results, so the Redmi 5A managed to last the whole day of pretty heavy use. Since this is a device from the lower class, we couldn't even expect fast charging. Charging from 0 to 100 took about 2.5 hours. Inside the battery settings, there's a battery optimization option, which will optimize the brightness of the panel, stop applications from auto-opening and similar, and all for the sake of extending battery life. Xiaomi Redmi 5A doesn't have a hybrid dual SIM tray as its predecessor, but this is still a dual SIM device. The 5A offers a dedicated microSD card slot next to two nano SIM card slots, which means that you can simultaneously use two SIM cards and one microSD card, which is truly great. An IR blaster is also implemented into this device, and it is located on the top side of the device. It serves the purpose of remotely controlling your appliances such as TV or TV box, AC unit, DVD player, projector, etc. A micro USB 2.0 port is used for charging and data transfer, which is perfectly fine for the price range. And also available is a 3.5mm audio port for your favorite headphones. Redmi 5A does not have the NFC system. Since the Snapdragon 425 contains an LTE modem, 4G networks are supported. And in theory, maximum download speeds can go up to 150 megabits per second, while the upload speeds can go up to 75 megabits per second. When it comes to wireless connections, we have Wi-Fi 802.11 with BG and N standards and with Wi-Fi Direct and hotspot modes, Bluetooth 4.1, and a GPS. Xiaomi Redmi 5A, as a representative of the lowest class of smartphones, definitely justifies its price, since many brands offer devices where nothing is as it's supposed to be. During our test, the 5A didn't show any signs of lag or slowing down at normal conditions, and the battery surprised us quite a lot with its capabilities. If you're not a heavy user which seeks an excellent camera or remarkable performances overall, and you need a good but cheap device, the Redmi 5A is a great device for its price. Do you like the Xiaomi Redmi 5A? We'd love to see your opinion in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions or you would like to see a specific device being reviewed, feel free to write to us either here or on our Facebook page. If you liked our review, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and sit comfortably as we're working hard on new material for you.